Hey guys, welcome back to According To. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera. For this week's episode, Megan and I just got back from vacation, and so like we always do, we wanted to do a trip recap.
We do have a vlog coming up on our YouTube channel this weekend, so if you guys like to watch our vlogs, then make sure to check that out there. Our username, if you've never watched our YouTube videos before, is Megan and Ciera.
What do you think the split of our audience? Like, are there people that watch or listen to certain parts of our content? Or do you think if you're in, you're in?
I feel like there's a lot of cross-referencing, and I feel like most of the people that probably listen to the podcast, if you're a podcast listener, in my opinion,
you have to be watching.
You're everywhere. I feel but I also I definitely feel like if you're a vlog or if you watch our vlogs and YouTube videos, maybe you check in every once in a while, but not all the time. But if you're a podcast listener, I just feel like you know everything.
Yeah.
So we'll do our recaps. I'm sure that's both of our weekly spotlights, so that's the whole episode. But we'll do our book updates and anything else before. I don't think I really have anything else particularly to share. I got a haircut yesterday, so I'm feeling fun and fresh in regards to that. But otherwise,
yeah, I don't have any other major exciting updates. So book updates.
I feel like book update wise, I'm liking the book I'm reading. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm reading so slow recently. I kind of feel like I've been feeling that way for most of the summer. I'm currently reading The Conditions of Will by Jesse Hastings, and I am just over 50% of the way through now. But I'm just I don't understand. I feel like I've been reading this book for forever. It's a 464-page book, so it's not short, but it's not super long either. And I've been actively liking it. I feel like when I've been reading for what I feel like is a good chunk of time, and I go to update the page number, and I'm that's it? That's all that I've read? So I don't know at this
That's
point.
how I feel with the nonfiction book that I have on my Kindle.
At this point, I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish this book, which is crazy because I have been enjoying it. So
what
I don't
does your
understand.
Kindle say?
How many pages?
How long left?
I'd have to double check.
I think that last I spoke to you guys, I was still reading The Tenant. I finished that. Here's the thing also. I don't remember if we mentioned on the podcast or on the vlog or somewhere. Megan and I had planned on doing a vlog for our trip, which we did. That's going up. And then we also planned to try to read a book that took place on Cape Cod or the surrounding area, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, that kind of vibe. And we did little to no reading on that trip.
As soon as we got there, and we were in the first bookstore, and I was picking out a book to potentially read for this video idea, I was just
when?
I don't think this is going to be happening. I really don't. So yeah, it was just more so we had so much jam-packed that we were trying to fit in on this trip. If we had one other day,
beach day,
right, it would have made more sense. I don't know that we would have finished the entire thing, but we probably could have gotten a fair chunk done. So when we were at the bookshop, I was basically Ciera, I don't think this is going to happen. If we do get to do any reading of books related to Cape Cod, just include it in this video. I did purchase one book from the Cape Cod section. I know the author is Nancy Thayer, but I can't remember the name of the book that I picked up. I haven't touched it yet, but it's come back with me as it's a
souvenir,
a purposeful souvenir. So I also got 3 bookmarks were brought back from this trip. One was from that first bookstore, just because at first I wasn't sure if I was going to be getting, or I just got the bookmark from that first store, and then I got the Nancy Thayer book at a different one. Yes. And no, I didn't. I actually am getting confused. We went to quite a few different bookstores, which we'll elaborate on. But that'll be read whenever.
So anyway, back to The Tenant. I did, despite saying we couldn't do any reading on this trip, I did finish this book on this trip. I think I was the 35% mark before going on vacation. I read quite a bit. Actually, I didn't read that much. On the airport, or on the airplane ride there, I read a little bit, but then I slept most of the rest of the way. And then we did do some reading here and there. I read a little bit at night. We were at the beach a couple times. I was reading a little bit there, but then I read the majority of the book on the plane ride back. I read basically the entire time. So finished it. I gave it 4 stars. I I did see the twist coming, I feel like, relatively early on, but like it was still good.
Okay, let's jump into our day by day, what we thought of the trip. I actually feel like it seemed like a lot of our viewers, or a fair number of our viewers, like are from there or from there, or had recommendations of where we should go check out, because I just felt like in regards to like, you know, pre other trips, we have not had like as much, you know, recommendations, or just like, I'm from the area, I'm so excited you guys are coming to check it out. So first and foremost, we had a great time. I loved the area. Ciera and I are very much people that like, once we go one place, we really like to just keep beat bopping around to like go as many places as we possibly can. But I would go back and I would have a great time, I feel like. And I feel like there's so much more I could still explore.
Because like, while I do feel like the trip was like sufficient, like what we got to see in the time that we had, like I think that we definitely like missed some things that would be fun to go back and explore.
I also feel like, because sometimes I get asked either like from viewers or just like from people in my life, just like we like to do, you know, short trips in general, probably compared to like, you know, when other people go on trips, they're like going to go for a bit. And by nature, I feel like that's just a mix of like us wanting to like savor our PTO as much as we possibly can,
to allow for like more frequent shorter trips.
Yeah. And then as well as, to be honest, like just airline price wise, this was like we were able to get nonstop flights from Des Moines to Boston for like a pretty good price. And like usually that's just because like Allegiant will have like specific days they fly to specific locations. So Friday to Monday just worked out well in that regard. And then it also worked out well because since this was like a girls trip, we were like just collectively as a group, we were all like, let's try to not use a whole bunch of PTO. And so yeah, in order to like make this girls trip happen, we had brought this up, like the idea of doing a girls trip.
Isn't it
like
crazy
end of last year
to like us all gathering around our table being like, are we doing this?
So end of last year, I posed the question to our book club and was like, who would be interested? Once we kind of funneled that down into like who was actually willing to like plan and participate in the trip, we got together in person to like discuss location ideas, where do we want to go. We all knew like basically from the start we wanted to go somewhere coastal and somewhere on the East Coast, because none of us had really been there. And I feel like because we had read like the Hotel Nantucket, like we just kind of liked the vibe of that area, and we liked the idea of maybe like being somewhere where we've read a book in that setting. And so Cape May had been flown around a little bit, Cape Cod obviously because that's where we went, and I don't know of any other ones off the top of my head.
I mean, technically there was like some out of country recommendations, but we were
yeah.
Probably not. Maybe next year we'll go international.
That'd be fun. And so we got that booked in January, and then we've just been patiently waiting ever since.
I know.
So.
I've had like the airline confirmation thing like sitting in my email. So.
All right. So Friday morning, bright and early, we wake up at like 3:30 in the morning because our flight is at 6 a.m. And Andrew dropped us off at the airport, and we all met at the airport. We actually picked one friend up on the way. And like I said, the flights were nonstop, which was also like a huge bonus. And so
it was like kind of storming, not like significantly storming at the time that we were taking off, but like it had been storming the night. I say the night before. It was 3:30 in the morning, so like it was still.
It was through the night, but like it had just kind of ended basically.
Stopped. So I know there's some traffic. I don't know if you'd say traffic delays, air traffic delays, like in other parts of the country. I think Chicago had some issues, but luckily for us, like it did not affect us. Even turbulence wise, like not too bad. It was a little bumpy going out.
A little bumpy in the beginning. Like I was kind of like, I don't love this, but like manageable.
Then it was fine. And then like, I fell asleep. So
we landed in Boston around like 10 a.m. their time. And then one of our friends, Allie, she took one for the team, and she did the rental car and was the one driving for this trip, which like I think, you know, now that we've been there, like I think we could have managed. Like it would not have been a deterrent where like I couldn't have gone on this trip. But I was also like, if someone else wants to, you know, by all means, go for it. Knock yourself out. So I
think on Cape Cod, totally fine. It's just like the weaving in and out of Boston traffic, like,
and like there's a lot of like lanes just like ending. Good luck. Get over to the next lane, or like whoops, you had 2 seconds to get over. You couldn't.
Now you're stuck. You gotta keep going.
Now you gotta go around. So when we landed, we obviously had quite a bit of time. We had like a 2-hour drive from Boston to get onto the Cape, like where we were staying, but our check-in time was not until like 3 o'clock. So we were like, if there's anything else we want to do on the way, or like we decided to stop.
Mosey on down.
So we stopped. I don't know exactly how to pronounce this.
I do know how to pronounce it.
Okay, go for it.
You did mispronounce it, but it's not.
Tate? Is that what it
said?
is?
Tate like latte.
Gotcha.
It was on their bag.
Okay, well, I mispronounced it in the vlog coming up, so don't sue me.
What was like the theme of the cuisine? Do you know?
At that bakery restaurant?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was there a theme?
Well, like not theme, but like it was definitely like some sort of like cultural cuisine.
Don't know.
Was the vibe that I got just based off like what Morgan got.
Ciera and I got like a chicken pita thing, which that was really good. I actually really liked that. But then we also got some sort of like tea refresher drink, which like this is partially probably my fault. Is like
I try these things thinking like, well, I like the Starbucks refresher. They're not the
Starbucks refresher.
So
it was kind of gross. Did not finish it. Actually, I did finish that one. So we did lunch for about an hour, and then we were kind of like, oh my God, do you know how much it cost us to park in a parking garage?
We all collectively gasped.
Like, oh my God. It gave us an hourly rate when we were like pulling into the parking garage to get lunch. Like 30 minutes to 1 hour, $35. And then up from there, we all were like, we pulled up and we were like, oh my God. But like, what were we to do? So paid that hefty price, divided by the 5 of us, only $7. And then we headed from there onto the Cape. We stayed in Brewster, Massachusetts. I don't particularly have like a super strong opinion of like, was that a good or bad idea? It seems fine. I liked our Airbnb that we stayed at, and it was kind of in the middle a little bit. Like it was close to Chatham, but it was also like not. It was like, okay, we're not close to Provincetown, but we knew we wanted to go there, and at least we weren't staying towards like the beginning of the Cape, which would have made that like a really, really long drive. So I thought like location wise,
and like
it seemed convenient.
Pricing wise, I don't remember comparatively like what one Airbnb was versus the other, but like that could have also been a deciding factor in where we chose,
and also just like
stay.
Availability.
Yes,
because it's like the Cape in the summer, so for a weekend.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sorry, did you mention the bookstore? Or is that where we're at?
Yeah.
First stop was Titcomb's bookstore. That was actually, I think, a recommendation from your TikTok that you had posted.
Yes.
So
that was probably my favorite bookstore that we went to, actually, I think.
Possibly. I'm trying to remember all the ones we went to. We went to that one.
We didn't go to as many as I would have liked just because of, like, hours being an issue and or, like, you know, we only have so much time in a day.
Yeah.
I know for sure we went to 3. We went to that one. We went to Where the Sidewalk Ends in Chatham. There was a one called like Tom's Used Books that we went to in Provincetown. We went to the Boston Public Library, but we did not get a chance to go to Beacon Hill Books because we were there on a Sunday and it closed too soon. We didn't make it there. So
we also didn't make it to Brewster bookstore because that one we had to leave at a certain time.
It just was kind of like, it was at a certain point where it's like, I love going to bookstores as much as the next person, but like I don't need to go. It was kind of like what it was coming down to for like a few of these different things.
Anyway, so back to Titcomb's bookstore. They had an author there. I will say what I realized about like going on this trip, like I realized different things about some of our friends. Our friend Morgan, she is like down to like talk to whoever about whatever and like ask like their opinions. Like if I see an author doing a signing, like no offense, I'm probably not stopping. Like I'm like, hi. I walked in the bookstore and she's like trailing behind.
And this guy's like a fisherman. His book is about fishing.
Yeah. And which I don't think to my knowledge she has any interest in. But like she stops and then like I go into the bookstore. She and I think Abby and Allie stayed out with her, right?
I think so.
Like they're just chatting up with the author for like 5 minutes at least. And I was like, what are you talking about? The other thing was like if we would be at a restaurant or like some sort of food stand or something, like she would like ask the waiter or the waitress, like, what do you recommend? Or like if she was between 2 things, she'd be like, should I do this one or this one?
I know. And I'm like,
I never do that.
I don't ever do that ever.
Like I don't trust other people with my own, like I'm so picky. I would never ask someone else like what I should try. Cause I'd be like, I'll probably hate it.
From there, we went to the Airbnb to check in, and then I loved our Airbnb.
Spacious Airbnb.
It was
I like knew
good.
it was nice, but like sometimes you don't really know until you get there like what you're getting. So spacious. I feel like it would be great for like a whole like family or like a huge group of friends. Like we had 5 people. It was like nice to spread out.
But like you could have had more.
Like, I had the whole basement to myself. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan had the main floor to herself.
We all
You
had
guys
our
were
own
like
beds.
upstairs. So yeah, then we kind of opted, like, everyone did a quick little refresh. What time was it by the time we got there? Like, it was exactly 3:00.
Yeah.
I think.
Also, for this whole trip, like, we had some ideas, and like maybe we could check out this place. We had just like general ideas, but like we were basically like coming up with our itinerary like day of and day before,
which I think was fine. Like, we knew the gist of, like, a lot of us were just like, we want to like walk around.
That was the other good thing, was that the group of girls we were with, like, collectively, were all like whatever.
Like when it
in
came
a good
to
way.
picking out like rooms and stuff, some people I think are very particular, and we were all like sitting being like, who wants what room, and we were like, I don't
Whatever.
know, someone can pick.
We
So we
had
had
to,
to
like,
do
do a name wheel.
number, or we had to do a name generator, and then like we went in the order of like, okay, Abby, you pick your room, Morgan, you pick your room, and then that's how everyone ended up in the room. So anyway, first change, we went to, was the beach the first place we went?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
I'm like, I think so. If not, like, very... Or
We-
we did lunch. No. Lunch. What did we do for lunch?
No, because we already had lunch
Oh,
in
ice
Boston.
cream was first.
Yes.
I was like, the beach doesn't feel totally right. We went to the ice cream smuggler, and I got a hot fudge sundae. That's usually, like, at this point, that's my go-to, like, for any new ice cream place that I try out, because you can't mess it up. But they had a lot of, fun flavors.
a couple places cash only here. That was a new
Yeah.
thing. So just
Mostly an
FYI,
issue
if
on,
you're
like,
going to
day
the Cape.
one. So
I was just like,
cash.
whoa, I wasn't ready for this.
And then, what'd you get?
I just got like a couple scoops of Oreo ice cream. Then we went to the beach.
Yes, we went to Mayflower Beach.
It was
We went
really
to a couple
good.
different beaches.
That was
This-
the best one that we tried out.
I think so, too.
Granted, like, we didn't try out, all of them, but
From the ones we tried, that was our favorite. And also, like, perfect timing. Like, we didn't have to pay for parking. We parked, right on the beach. I think technically the person, like, doing the parking attending was like, it's almost
Like,
5
she was being
o'clock.
nice,
Like,
yeah.
you can just not pay, which was very nice. And
low
I think this
tide,
is where,
holy cow,
yeah, I
I
was
need to
like,
see the
here's the
difference.
beach, there's the ocean.
like far away. But you could like tell where the water comes up to. Such a big difference. Like it's a long ways away. I was like, I gotta look out there to see the ocean.
So, like, some of us were like, should we walk out there? But I was kind of like, I want to stay in the nice sand. Like, I knew I wasn't going to go swimming.
it was not. This trip was like warm enough, but like it wasn't like tropical sunny vacation.
Yeah.
which we all knew that going into this.
And so I think this is where, like, the travel day hit me. Because, we got up so early.
Now we're basking in the sun.
And one thing about me, I love a beach nap. I think we all, like, took some form of nap on the beach.
and it was great. It was awesome.
It was so nice. Like, there's really nothing, like, that hits quite like a beach nap.
So we did like a mix of laying, relaxing. Some people were listening to music or podcasts. I was trying to read my book a little bit, and then like I was getting tired, and I was like, I'm gonna
Me
take a
too.
nap. And then we took some photos and stuff with a couple of our friends, and then from there,
Which I must say, initially, like, the G7X, you guys, if you follow us on Instagram, know that Megan and I are quite partial to the G7X.
like it does me no wrong, except for recently I feel
And
like it
so,
has been doing me wrong.
When we were taking pictures initially, we were kind of like, they're okay, but I feel like it's, like, really dark and it's hard to see, which, like, historically has not been an issue when you've used this camera. Which, unfortunately, like, for basically all of our Cape Cod photos, like, that was the camera settings. And, like, we have some good ones, some dark ones, like, whatever, that can be adjusted. And then I ended up going on TikTok and asking, like, what are your guys' settings? Well, I didn't go on TikTok, but, like, I searched. And someone had shared what their G7X settings were. I adjusted our camera to those settings. And, like, our Boston pictures, stunning, amazing.
Wow.
Like, even so much, like, we were sending pictures throughout the trip to Haley and Maggie. But, like, after the Boston pictures, Maggie sent back, like, the camera is cameraing. And we were like, oh, funny you say that because we just switched the camera settings.
Yeah. So that was going forward. That's going to be a huge help.
Yes.
Hopefully. I honestly am just like, I was looking back at my Instagram, which like I love how my Instagram looks right now, but it's just like I quite literally never post when I'm not traveling.
Here.
And I was just like, well, I should try to. Like I should just try.
No, we should.
Why not?
Especially like while it's summer, we gotta get on our Zoom. We gotta go.
Yeah. Anyways, so from there we had two friends, Allie and Morgan, had seen that there was like a touristy souvenir shop called Cuffy's, and I hadn't seen anything in regards to this. So I was just like, okay, sure. Like, we can go. I don't know if there's just one on the Cape or if there's like a couple different locations, but from the beach, we went there and we pulled up and I was like, oh my God. Like,
it's like Disneyland of souvenir shops.
It's just like a very curated, like the outside
like
of
Main
the tourist
Street
shop. Yeah.
Main Street vibes of like Disneyland.
So it was super cute. I'm not a big souvenir of like, I've tried to be less and less of a souvenir type of person. Just the more I've traveled, I often find myself not using the things that I'm
usually like, I want one sweatshirt probably from this trip.
So a lot of our friends kind of shopped around, looked at some different things. And then from there, we went to dinner. I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but we went to like it was called like Sesuit or something of that sort, Harbor Cafe. And I don't remember what town exactly it was in.
Also cash only.
Which was
an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It would have not been an issue. Here's the thing. Both these
dumb.
places had ATMs. I could have gotten more cash if I was not dumb. I was attempting to use my credit card, which was not working. And then until the next
I was
day,
attempting to use a debit card that was expired that I didn't realize I hadn't thrown away.
So then the following day, when we had to get cash at some point later, when we realized these things, the ATMs did work. But it's annoying because like I only had so much cash where like I literally had to like dumb down my meal. Because initially like I wanted to try more seafood. And so I was going to do like the lobster roll. I think that was it.
Maybe it was a blessing in disguise though, because they only had the cold option there, which
True.
I don't think I would have liked as much as the warm one that we got.
True. So I ended up I couldn't even get the regular fish and chips. I had to get the kids fish and chips because I didn't have enough cash. And like I had friends that said they would spot me extra money if I wanted it, but I was like, whatever. I'm just getting what I can get.
Food was really good there. Like that was the best fish and chips I've probably ever had. Even like, I mean, all the fish and chips I ate on the trip were really good, but the fish was like literally falling apart.
It was like I tried to pick it up and I couldn't even pick it up.
Yeah. It was so good though. Busy place, and it was like right on a like harbor type situation. Marina. Yeah, I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? And so just like good scenery, busy. I like the vibes of that stuff. And then also just like a highlight in general from the trip, I feel like it's just anytime we'd sit down and like enjoy a meal. One, we're not tired and walking around. Two, like we just get to like sit down and chat, and I always like that as part of the trip. So that was one of the highlights for sure.
This is just like more of like a through line throughout the whole trip, or at least day 1 and day 2. When we were there's like a group of girls, and like I like kind of like clocked them because I was like, oh, it's a group of girls, but like I mostly clocked them because one of the girls on the group was like this redhead that I just thought was so beautiful. And
she had like an outfit on.
Yes, she did have like, it was like a nice, like,
they're
dressed up. I think they asked like the waiter or waitress, like, where's a good place to like go out, like near here. But like, I was just like, wow, she's stunning. And so I saw her, I took her in, never planning to see her again. She comes up later. Not like personally to us, but just like we saw her a couple times. So that's that. We went back to the Airbnb, and then I think I was the one that brought this up, but I was like, we should watch Jaws because it like was based on like Martha's the town Vineyard. Is fake, but like it takes place, quote unquote, like on the Cape.
They recorded.
Which did you realize?
What?
I know this would have been like that cool to go to, but like it would have been kind of cool to go to. Like the day before, this year's like the 50th anniversary of Jaws, and like on Martha's Vineyard, they like made it Amityville.
Oh, that is
and like
cool.
Did a whole celebration.
We should have been.
So I think that's the people at the bookstore, Titcombs. I think that's what they were talking about. They're like, did you go to the Jaws thing? I'm like, yeah, it was so cool. I didn't realize they went to Martha's Vineyard to do it. So we should have done that.
We should have
gone in a day early.
We had another day. It was also definitely recommended more for us. Like, we didn't go to Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard, but I kind of didn't realize how much more people recommended Martha's Vineyard over Nantucket, at least for like a day trip. Like, you know, everyone in my comments was
all the more
that.
reason to go back at some point.
Yeah.
And we could go to both.
And so after dinner, we went back to the Airbnb. Seriously, we watched Jaws, and then we just like hit the hay. We didn't finish watching
like
the
a
movie.
half hour of it. I've never seen Jaws all the way through, I don't think. So I should finish it at some point.
And then next morning, we woke up. We had kind of planned what we were doing the next day already, and our main focus was to explore Chatham.
Well, we did switch gears.
Provincetown.
We had planned on doing like a bike ride of sorts on the trail or one of the trails, and
we were thinking of doing a sunset sail. However, that was so last minute that I couldn't. That was poor planning on our part. It really was. So we didn't do a sunset sail.
In the future, all the more reason we'll go back sometime with more plans, more thought out, solidified structure.
We did not end up doing the rail trail is what it's called, just because like the more logistically we thought about it, it was like, okay, we'd have to go find a bike rental shop, and we'd have to like hope that it was by or close enough to the rail trail that we could then go directly onto the rail trail, because we don't have room in a car to carry 5 bikes with us. And so logistically, the more we thought about it, and just kind of like with what other things we wanted to prioritize, it was just making less and less sense to dedicate time to doing that. So we X'd that, decided not to go that route. Although again, like, would have been a fun experience, I'm sure.
We'll do it next time.
Here's
another, this is a side tangent, but I just remembered it. When we were in one of the, was it the bookstore maybe? We were like listening to like side conversations, and one of our friends had mentioned like they overheard someone say like, oh, like, yeah, we're summering on Cape Cod. The person's like, that they're talking to, that I think works at the store, is like, oh, like, you know, how long have you been here? And she goes, well, we got here last Saturday.
We're doing
a
Saturday to Saturday.
And so then we were talking as a, you know, group amongst ourselves, being like, would you call that summering? No, I would say it's vacation. No. So in our mind, you know, if you're summering somewhere,
like that's at least a month. At least a month. But if you're summering,
like the summer is there. So we thought that was funny. We got a laugh out of it.
Anyways, our main purpose being in Chatham was to explore like the different shops and stuff. They've got a cute main street, and so they had a farmer's market set up there, so we did some walking around that. We did a lot of popping in and out of the stores just on the main street. Like, I don't know how far distance wise we walked, but like it took us hours.
No, it was crazy. We got there like relatively early. Granted, like I think it wasn't a farmer's market. It was like an arts and crafts festival, technically, but you know, same thing. That's where we got 2 of our bookmarks.
Yeah. There was this precious man and his paintings. He didn't even really say anything. He was like busy setting stuff up, and his wife was the one that was like selling him, and like,
she's, you know, like, oh, I love,
because I was like, are you the one that does all the work? She's like, no, it's him.
Did you ask that?
Yeah.
Because then that was the other thing, is Morgan is our friend who like was, you know, chatting up with everyone. And she goes, well, which one's your favorite? And she was like, oh, it's hard to pick. Like, I like all the ones with like the boats in them.
And so I didn't have any, you know, money to dedicate towards like a full painting, although I loved his work. Actually, we took a picture of his card because he also does commissions, but they had some bookmarks for sale. So we snatched up 2 of those because that was within my budget and easy to travel with.
Take home.
And then who knows, maybe we'll use it for a gift down the road for someone.
Yeah. Could be.
Or
cool.
myself.
Who knows? And then I went back to the Main Street area, did some shopping. I was on the hunt for some linen pants, particularly white linen pants. I was not lucky on this trip with that. Every one that I tried on was either see-through or too expensive. So I'm just going to order a pair from Abercrombie because Megan already has a pair.
I love those linen pants. They did me well.
I'm just going to, you know, I tried them on. I know how they work, and it'll be good.
We ended up getting, I mean, they had a lot of great stores and great options. I'm sure I could have been happy with many sweatshirts, but I was trying to really just like pick one thing. And so Chatham Breeze was the store that I think most of us ended up getting something from. And I felt like it was appropriate to get a sweater specifically for this trip because everyone, I feel like if you know Cape Cod fashion, like that's what it is. And so me and a few friends got like basically the same sweater, a couple different colors, and it just says Cape Cod on it, and it's a sweater. So I just was like, this seems appropriate.
Yeah. I did end up getting a sweatshirt. It also says Cape Cod. It's gray and has like some blue horizontal stripes on the sleeves and the hem of it. I was going to say something else. Oh, there was an art installation.
This is where we circle back to that girl.
The girl and her friend group. I was like, we saw this girl yesterday. Because I would remember that girl from anywhere. She was so stunning. And then it was funny because our friend group was like, you should go tell her that. And I was like, no.
But what are the odds?
Yeah. And then
also this is like less, it's like kind of weird, but also it's like kind of not. Because it was like it was close enough to where we were at. Like it was in Chatham still. But then for lunch, we decided, okay, we're going to leave. But
it was a late lunch too.
I know. Like timing wise and stuff, it was still like quite a coincidence. We decided, okay, none of the places on Main Street were like sounding like I feel like if you want the good seafood, going somewhere like a fish market or something or closer to like a marina is kind of like the vibe. And I liked the setting too. So we decided to go to the Chatham Pier Fish Market for a late lunch. That's where Ciera and I tried our lobster roll and we tried our clam chowder. Both were pretty good. I liked the clam chowder. Lobster roll, I could probably go the rest of my life without missing it.
Mm-hmm. I honestly,
it wasn't bad.
I was expecting so much more flavor.
It wasn't bad. I just like, I'd rather have like fish and chips or something.
Yeah.
So that
the
was my
clam
take
chowder
on
was
it.
good. I felt like we've had like corn chowder that's
Same.
been similar.
Yeah, but it was good. And then that was right next to, like we said, it was on the marina, so there was like a little lookout dock situation. We saw some sea lions in the water, which was fun. Gets kind of breezy on the ocean, so it was really just like temperature wise throughout the day. It was like sometimes it'd be hot, then it'd be cold, and like I was like, all this Cape Cod fashion makes perfect sense now,
because the now layers, I get why you've always got sweaters draped around your shoulders, because sometimes you're
like
cold,
so necessary.
Our friend Abby had to go back to the car to get like her souvenir sweatshirt because she was cold. As we were like getting up, you could tell it was like cooling off.
Yes,
but then you leave and you go somewhere else and it's warm again.
And then from there, it was kind of like late afternoon at this point.
Also,
Provincetown.
The other thing, we were in like a very nice neighborhood.
Also, we saw the girl again. Did we say that? Her and her friends were at this pier fish market as well for lunch. That was the last we saw them.
You know, missed them. Anyway, we were in a really nice neighborhood, like getting into this fish market, and all of the houses have signs with like names on them, which I think is so adorable. And so
I just love the architecture and like the style and design and height ranges.
Is that colonial?
I love it all. Huh?
Is that style colonial? Or like,
no, I think it's quite literally like Cape Cod
style.
I think yes.
Oh, really? I didn't know they had their own like architectural style. But we were joking, like, what would you name your house? Like, if you had a house on the Cape, what would your sign say? And I said, oh, like happy as a clam would be a fun one. And like everyone said, you know, different names they thought of. I don't know if you thought of one.
No.
But then the craziest thing, when this was like later, we're back over in Brewster by the Airbnb, and there's some houses over there that have signs and stuff too. We pass happy as a clam. And I'm like, are these registered anywhere? Like, are you the only happy as a clam? And like, what are the odds that I saw you when I said that? Or could anyone be happy as a clam? I don't know.
We were going to go from the fish market to the Chatham lighthouse because we wanted to see at least one lighthouse on our trip. But I had kind of mistakenly said like, oh, we're going to Provincetown. There's a lighthouse up there. We could go check out if we want to. And then I didn't look much further into it from that point. And then the closer we got, the more I realized how out of the way and like not accessible seemingly the lighthouse in Provincetown was to just
where we were,
the general public. So we didn't do that. We actually saved the Chatham Lighthouse for the next morning before we drove back. But we drove to Provincetown, which was about like an hour from Chatham. Nice drive. It was getting progressively sunnier like as we were driving up, which was nice.
I took a nice nap on that drive.
And then Provincetown is, I guess, known as like the gayest town in America. Although when I looked it up, some of it was saying the second gayest town, and that Palm Springs was number one.
Oh.
But very pride friendly, rainbow flags everywhere. I felt like this was like a nice touch. We didn't really explore a whole lot. I was kind of like, was it worth coming up here? I don't know. But I did like where we stopped on the way back for dinner too. So, you know, whatever.
It did remind me kind of like of Venice Beach vibes, almost, of like there's lots of like kitschy shops and stuff. Some, you know,
like there was a cute main
characters.
street. And however, like I'm sure there's other better beach options, but like the ones that were like right in Provincetown like weren't amazing or anything, but they did the job. We hung out on the beach a little bit there, but then it was getting kind of cold, so then we're like, let's leave.
Mm-hmm. Did we do any like food or drinks there? I got ice cream, I guess, which then led me to a saga of like I spilled ice cream on my new white t-shirt that I got, and I'm still in the process of getting the stain out. I'm about to go put it in the washer after this is done recording.
We decided to, because I think we left Provincetown around 6:30 or so. I had seen another recommendation, just either from my own searching or maybe from you guys, to check out the Beachcomber in Wellfleet. And so that was like a 30-minute drive back towards our Airbnb. It's right on the ocean, and there's like a beach next to it. And so that was cool. It would have been cooler if it was not as foggy as it was, because it was really, really foggy. And it also would have been kind of nice to know this place served us for dinner, but they also had like a show going on that night. And
Granted,
it was sold out. So yeah, I don't know if we would have been able to get tickets or anything, but like it would have been kind of fun having like known that was like an option to like, oh, like let's stay and like see this live band for a little bit. But unfortunately at like, 8:30 or so, they're kind of kicking people out to make room for the people to come in for the show.
After you're done eating, there's like, to get to the beach from this restaurant is like this massive hill to go down to the beach. And so our friends are like, well, we want to like go down by the beach. And I was like, have fun with that. I'm not going. I'm staying right here. And so they go down, and like they were down there for so long. Granted, Megan and I can see them. Like they're taking pictures and stuff and just like hanging out.
Yeah. But I was like, what are you guys doing?
No, literally. And then they, eventually make their way back up and we leave. But then funny enough, when I was on TikTok after we'd gotten back to the Airbnb, I'm just scrolling through. Granted, I'm getting served a lot of Cape Cod content because I think I was searching stuff. But I see a TikTok that's like when you're going up the hill after being like at the beach by the beachcomber, and it's like the SpongeBob sound of like, ho, I am on the road, whatever that one is. And so I said that to them because I was like, that was you guys like going up the hill. And they were like,
so
oh
funny.
my God, we were doing that like on the way up. We were singing that song, like joking about like, this is what it feels like.
Which I'm like, I'm a SpongeBob watcher, but I don't think I would have like, that would not have clocked my brain to.
So I thought that was funny. But they said it was nice, that it was worth going down there.
Mm-hmm. Then again, went back to our Airbnb to finish off the night. One of our friends, Allie, she purchased like a new card game from one of the bookstores that we were at, which was basically like a mix of Memory and Go Fish. So we played a couple rounds of that.
It was fun.
It was pretty good.
We only played it the one time because we just, crunched for time everywhere.
And we're all like tired. So we were like, okay, good night again, everyone. Especially because like we'd all get back to the Airbnb and it was like, okay, shower time, like just reset. So that would take some time too.
I mean, these were full days, you guys.
Like we would leave at like 8 or 9 a.m. and then like we would not get back until like 9 p.m. or later. Anyways, next morning, the final like full day really of the trip was Sunday. And so this was obviously check out of our Airbnb was at 11, and then we were like planning on just seeing what we could figure out in Boston. We didn't decide to go to a baseball game, even though I know like if you're in Boston, like a Boston Red Sox game is,
that's
a recommendation. And they did have a game going on, but it was just like none of us cared enough to go to the baseball game, although they won. So congratulations, Red Sox.
All you Red Sox fans.
Drive back was wow.
We
just like traffic wise. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Morning of. We woke up. We went to Snowy Owl Coffee Roasters. I feel like I saw that recommended quite a bit. Granted, I'm someone who
like don't listen to my review, you
coffee,
guys.
so like don't listen to my review. But I was pretty underwhelmed. I gwat. I'm turning into a Bostonite.
I think it's Bostonian.
Oh, sorry. I got there. What was it? Guava Fresca?
Yeah.
And I kind of like knew, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this, but like
I probably should have just gotten a hot chocolate, honestly.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
But I was like, it's summer. Like, should I get a hot chocolate? I don't know. And then I got a muffin that had like chocolate chips and
oh my God, we forgot breakfast on Saturday. And that was a cool place.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
We have to backtrack. We keep forgetting. We did so much stuff, you guys.
No, we really did.
Saturday morning, we went to a place called Hangar B, which was in Chatham. It was at the Chatham airport. And it was so cool, like just ambiance and setting wise, because you're just like at this tiny airport.
I do wish
there's
we would
like planes that can,
hindsight's 2020. We didn't know the wait was actually going to be 2 seconds.
They told us it was going to be an hour, so we decided, okay, we're not going to put our name in because we don't have an hour to kill to wait for breakfast. So we just ended up going to like their little pastry bar,
which like
where we could do walk-up service, which was like not that great.
Good. It was a potato
donut.
So
if that sounds good to you guys, that's where to go.
And then I got some chocolate milk, but like their breakfast, like when I've seen on TikTok, like looked so good, like the pancakes and stuff.
And then like there were people that came after us that did put their name in, and like while we were still sitting there eating our food, like enough people had left
and like
that supposedly were waiting.
Even if like we had put our name in and they called us, like I don't know if I would have been hungry enough to then like eat a full breakfast. So
because we already had a potato donut.
Yeah, like it was. I didn't love it, but it was pretty filling.
Mm-hmm.
So that was sad.
Because then like all of a sudden it was just like the people behind us are like, oh, you guys can go eat now, and I was like, so we could have put our name in. It was
literally,
they said an hour wait. They waited
like 15 minutes,
5 minutes, 10 minutes max. Okay. Anyways, nonetheless, At first I was like, oh, I don't know if there's gonna be any like planes going off or anything or taking off. But then as we're sitting there, a garage opens up, so then I start taking one plane out, and then we looked further down, we saw there's a plane already out like on the tarmac, and so we did see one plane take off. And then I don't know if this was like this guy's actual plane or if he just worked there. I kind of got the vibe he worked there and just like, you know, helps with maintenance and stuff on the planes. And so,
But like I think he does fly.
yeah, like he's probably like in the aviation world.
Yeah. That's
So he pulls one of the planes up, and getting it ready for the pilot, supposedly. I don't know. And so since like we're at like a sitting
like
area
right in front of us,
with like a
but
fence,
like we're fenced off.
yeah, like we're just, one of our friends was like kind of chatting with him. He said like this was his favorite plane and blah blah, and like we're trying to take some photos just like on the picnic tables we're sitting at with like the plane in the background. And the guy was like, well, do you want to like come over here and like take pictures in front of the plane? And we're like, well, yeah, of course, we would love to do that. So he took some photos of our whole friend group, which was good. And then we saw a plane take off, and then we're like, okay,
Better go.
let's go.
And then we went to the main street shopping area. So sorry you forgot about that, you guys. Back to Snowy Owl. Our friends that did get coffee or matcha, they said it was good. I have no other comments. I did not like their drink. The muffin is okay. Would I go back? Probably not. Then we went to the lighthouse, like Megan said, and
Nothing major to report there. It was just more so like we wanted to see a lighthouse.
And then drove to Boston.
On the way back, I think initially it said it was going to take like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Took 3 hours.
Yeah. It kept getting progressively longer and longer, and it kept rerouting us to different locations.
Whether it was our friend's phone or whether it was the car, I'm not sure. But like the navigation system was not up to par. It kept like freezing. And then we have to like pull up a new phone, which is like kind of sketchy sometimes because we didn't have the best service out there. So like we'd be like, I'm trying to pull something up, but like it's not loading right now. And like the map is frozen. We don't know where we're going.
It was fine though.
Yeah, it was fine. But it was funny because at one point, like Megan had taken over instructions or directions because the map had frozen, and so we were like at like this, getting to like this fork in the road, and then like I was replugging stuff in because like
Stuff was just changing.
Like, yeah. So then I plug it in, and like the car one had reloaded, I think, but it was showing a different direction than Megan's, and Megan's like, no, mine still shows it's like faster because it said like, you know, this time, and yours is 20 minutes later.
Mine did update like right before.
And then like, we're at like literally the fork in the road where it's like we're going right or left. And
mine updates like, mine adds like a half hour onto my time that I had been saying it was.
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
we're like,
never mind,
go right.
never mind.
So all was well. We got there.
Anyways, then we checked into our hotel in Boston, and then we took an Uber from our hotel into like more of the downtown area to do like our sightseeing and stuff. We went to the Boston Public Library first, which there's like a new and an old section. Good to know. Because we walk into like, you know, the main building, and I'm like, this isn't really
what you thought,
giving what I had been looking up. And I'm not sure where in this building this would be at. So then we looked a little bit harder, and we could see it's in the building next door. So
they're connected.
So we found like the more historical looking building, the one that like you would see if you look stuff up.
I think it was Bates Hall is the one that like is like the room.
Yeah. And so
could you imagine help but staying there?
No, I know. That's all I could think about when I was like, there's literally just like everyone's in there quietly studying, like legitimately, and then you just have tourists like walking in and out. Honestly,
like, it's supposed to be a tourist location.
I know. I was telling
like all the artwork.
I was telling our friends, I was like, the only way I would ever come and study in this room is if I was like a student living in Boston making a TikTok about like me going to be like studying in Boston, because then I'd be like, well, I need to go to this iconic
library.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would opt to study somewhere else.
Yeah, or like you'd be in the newer section, you know, with the amenities.
Yeah.
Then we were wandering around. We got kava for the first time. It was very good, actually.
It was. I was like, I wasn't expecting to like.
There's no
so
kava
much.
in Des Moines, so that's, you know,
new to us.
We've never gotten it. Then we went to Newbury Street.
Just saying both to cover our butts.
Sure how it's pronounced. It was Sunday, so they have like, I don't know if it's new or if it's just like what they do in the summers.
It's like a summer thing.
But they blocked off the road for like different like farmers market
so
type
it was like
stuff.
pedestrian only,
which was really cool actually. So we did some shopping, kind of looking at the booths and stuff, and we like looked at like the actual stores. It's weird seeing stores like in person that have like a brick and mortar that you like don't really register have a brick and mortar, like Princess Polly. I was like, you guys have brick and mortar stores?
Yeah. I didn't know they did.
There was like some musicians and stuff. We passed, like there was a singer. She was so amazing.
She's really good.
Like she got people stopping and like they were there.
And I recorded too because I was like, yeah, this is really good.
What else?
Then we went to the Boston Commons / Public Gardens. I think they're one and the same or close to each other. I don't know. But we mostly were just enjoying the greenery there and like resting our legs a little bit because we were tired from walking around.
I made the decision and I knew like I was like, maybe I'll regret this. But I wore like my Walmart flip-flops for like walking around, which I was like, I don't think I'd be walking around like forever. And like it wasn't bad, but I did start to like, get blisters on my foot to a point where like we found a spot for dinner and then like we put our names in there, like it's gonna be a half hour or something. And I was like, you guys can go wherever. I'm staying right here and I'm waiting a half hour. I'll sit on the curb if I have to.
We also had a couple friends do a tarot card reading or like some sort of psychic palm reading. And just because like they'd seen a couple shops when we were like in different
they'd
towns.
been like talking about like, oh, like they both wanted to do it,
and
like
so they got the best price at that one. And they couldn't really tell us much, but from what I gathered, they both thought it was worth the experience. So
were you like, was any part of you like debating?
Not really. No? I was like, because then they were telling us like the first one that did it, she was like, yeah, she's telling me like, do you accept like the good, the bad, and the ugly? And I was just like, ooh, I have chills, like bad chills about like, if I was asked like, would you accept the good, the bad, and the ugly for like a palm reading? Even though like I don't really believe in that stuff, but like I don't want to like invite any negative energy or things that like, if I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm interested that you did it, and I'm glad you had a good experience, but like I don't want to do that.
I was like itching for like as much information I could get out of them as possible. Like they said they're not supposed to like share what they were told, and so like they largely didn't, but like they're kind of like talking to each other like, did she do like X, Y, and Z? Did she talk about like X, Y, and Z with you? And they like, I don't know if they did this intentionally or not, but like they were kind of like lagging behind as like the three of us were like you know speeding ahead to like the next place we were going. And I was like, are you guys trying to secretly divulge what you were told? But I'm glad they had a fun time with that.
And then to finish off the trip, we did dinner at a place called Salty Girl, which was also pretty good. Again, just like more seafood. The more seafood, the merrier.
I got fish and chips 3 times on this trip, and it was good every time.
Yeah. It felt right. If there's like, ever a time to do that, it's this trip.
Yeah. You got a burger one time. Was it a good burger?
It was.
Anyway, then after that, we went back to the hotel. I was wanting to walk to an ice cream shop, and then Megan did not want to walk to an ice cream shop, so I settled for an ice cream bar in the hotel lobby, which was fine. And then we like went from sharing like our 3-story Airbnb to like now we're all in like one hotel room, which was fine.
We had a pull-out couch. It was good.
We stayed at like a Home 2 hotel, and like I don't know if all of the rooms are like this, but it was nice. It was like 2 queen beds, pull-out couch, a little like dinette area. No complaints. It was only one night, but.
And then our flight was fairly early Monday morning. Like, I think our flight left at.
Well, it like left at like 10:30.
Yeah, but we have to like drop the car back off and get to the airport. So that was our trip. And then we got back. It had enough of like a reset period on Monday to like just get our bearings and get unpacked, which was good. So yeah, there was our trip.
So much fun. Don't know what the next trip will be. Megan was saying like as we like are literally starting this trip, Megan goes, now I need to book somewhere else.
I always like to have an idea or something on the calendar to keep just to know what to look forward to.
Like so nothing yet.
Nothing yet. But
I know where I'll see. But yeah, highly recommend if you have not been to the area. Like, I would do it. I would go back, and I never say that.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you watch our podcast on YouTube and you watch the video version, make sure that you like the video. You can comment on there. Make sure you're subscribed. If you are listening to the audio version, make sure you subscribe or do whatever you have to do on there. I don't even know at this point.
You can also follow us on Instagram at according to We always like to post when we have new episodes up. We post like our reel highlights and stuff, so you can engage with us on there. If you have any specific thoughts regarding this episode, you can comment them on the episode post.
We also have a virtual book club, so you guys can check out the description, or we have a link in our podcast Instagram as well. You can either become a premium subscriber on Spotify, or you can join our Patreon. You only need to do one. It's $2.99 a month. If you're interested, you could always check it out, and then if you feel like you don't participate, you can always cancel. But we're currently reading The Conditions of Will by Jessica Hastings. So if that sounds interesting to you, maybe now would be a good time to join.
Otherwise, that's all we have for you. We will talk to you guys next Thursday.
Bye.